She even sent me. Let me see her assignment. Did you guys do the assignment? I left you with an assignment over the weekend, and I said, "Don't come to class without the assignment." Kezia, I'm sure you didn't. You don't have the assignment. Why am I sure of that? Let me just look for Juliet's assignment. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Okay, it's here. Juliet's assignment is here. Uh, I told you to identify one challenge that you have overcome and the lessons that you have learned from it. Yes, and Juliet gave me her challenge. Okay, so which one is yours? Because why? You don't have feedback. You better have it now. What is that challenge that you have overcome, and you have to give the impact? Juliet already gave me hers. Grace, where is yours? I gave you an assignment. Grace, where is yours? Where is your feedback from your assignment? Because you can also check on Brenda and Sim and see where they are as we go on. But good to see you guys. Now I need to introduce myself for those who do not know me. Grace. Holding on to the past pain and people who caused it, somehow I have overcome it. Okay. Today's lesson is actually going to help you answer that particular area, holding on to the past pain and people who caused it. Somehow you have overcome it. Okay, somehow you've overcome it. Do you have like the indicators that you have overcome it? Do you have what indicates that you have overcome it? And who is Juliet? Because Shizana gave me she gave me her feedback. She actually managed to overcome rejection, and it taught her how to love herself more and how to take good care of herself and how to put herself first. And she can now help someone out there who's experiencing the same situation to get out of it. But now I was telling her this that whatever it is that you have overcome you have to be able to position yourself to hear from God. What exactly was the lesson that you are supposed to pick from that is supposed to be a solution? So he's supposed to give you instructions, and then you start from there. Uh-huh. Yes, Mia, good afternoon. Good to see you. How was your weekend? Because you say procrastination, this was your biggest challenge. So you overcame it. What are the indicators that you overcame it? And yeah, what are those indicators that you overcame it? Mia, did you have a challenge that, because I left you with an assignment, I asked you to to write down a challenge that you have overcome, and you need to be able to give us like the impact that is visibly seen. Okay, Grace, you say it has taught you that people are human, and are vulnerable, yes, to hurt fellow people, yes. It has also taught you that you have also hurt people in some way. Oh, that's good. And you have learned to forgive, because if not, it becomes okay. We're waiting to finish that message. That's a very, very, very good. Now you see, now that is releasing. That is learning how to let go and getting ready for your new opportunity. And you don't drag trauma and all the pain from the past to where you're headed. Learn to forgive, because if not, it becomes a stumbling block to your moving forward. Exactly. Now you are giving the full impact, and that's exactly what I asked from all of you. Kezi, what did procrastination that you overcame? That one of your biggest challenges. What was the impact? What are the triggers? What shows that you actually overcame it? You need to show us the chronological order of things so that we can clearly see your transition. And that's what we're talking about today. That we can clearly see your journey, your transformation from this to that, because we need to see, why did we come to this class? What was the purpose of that class? We're supposed to we've been overcoming challenges since December, so at least by now we should have a challenge that we have overcome, and we can visibly see the results, and then we can say very confidently that now that I have overcome, this is the solution that was backed, and this is how we're going on forward. Okay, so Grace, that's very clear. Thank you very much. I wonder where Juliet is. Okay, so you say it has also taught you that unforgiveness hinders your relationship with God and also delays your healing. Exactly. Delays your healing, it hinders you from moving forward. You get stuck in a particular place for a very long time and you just don't want that. Okay. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Mia, we're waiting for you. When Juliet comes, and I can also describe again hers. So let me share the screen so that we can see today's class. Okay. Today's class, we are going to be talking about transitioning. That's exactly why I asked you to carry out that assignment. The point of transition is when you have experienced a challenge, you overcome that challenge, and you can visibly see that this was you before and this is you after. Even when the challenge comes back to you, you are able to visibly see that it doesn't affect you the way it used to. Your response is different. And like you said, you forgive because you're also forgiven, because you know it will block you, because you know you will not receive your healing, because you know you will not move forward to the next level. That will still drag you backward. That those are the evidences. And you remember we talked about the power of evidence. It's very important for you to have indicators, yeah? Indicators to show that this is actually happening. That is how we measure the transition. We don't want to just come to class every single day without impact, outcome in each lesson. And today in the Blind Man Blueprint series, we're going to be talking about the point of transition, standing firm when transformation is questioned. And that's the point when your transformation is being questioned. Those are the points of transition that I'm talking about. Sorry, it's showing Acts 14:22 when I generated this image. It generated the wrong chapter, but it's not that. It's John 9. So, transformation is not a linear path, it is a contested space. Standing, you see, when you're transitioning from this level to that level, there's always going to be resistance. There's always going to be someone who is saying, no, you will not pass. Let her pass. No, you will not pass. So it's like a contested space. You have to negotiate your way through and standing firm with your strategy and your belief. Because if you do not have strategy, that's why I say, I don't want you to overcome something and then you don't have anything to, like a strategy. Yes, you've overcome this. What have you, because you can easily relapse if you do not have a strategy in place that's going to replace what has been removed. It's like when you have overcome fear, when you have overcome all those vices that we kept on talking about, and you don't replace them with virtues, you don't replace them with the positives, right? That are supposed to be there. The enemy is going to come and find the space clean. He's going to come and sow his tears again. So that's the reason as to why, even when you're transitioning from this level to the next, you're evolving, you need to have strategy at every point of level. Like, what is the strategy today? What is the strategy tomorrow? What is, like, you need to have a strategy for every transition, for every breakthrough, for every, you're moving from this level to the next one. And you need to have a belief that it's going to work, whether you are unsure or not. Because by the time you have moved, let's say from encounters to what the exposures to reconciliation, now probably on discernment. I'm just giving an example. You're in the transformation process, you are on the level of discernment. You have moved all the way to this level. That means, yeah, that all these successes that you have achieved there, you did not expect to achieve them, right? But you actually went through that process and got here, right? Because you're not walking alone, right? Because you have backing and you're not relying on your own strength, your own mind, your own, you have backing. So the same belief that you walked with right from the encounter point is the same belief and strategy that you should move with. That should be the motivation. That should be the push. Now, that's why I'm saying in the transition stage, there is contention. That's why we have accountability partners. That's why we come to this class because you listen to a conversation. Like, now then it's unstuck you. Maybe you are stuck and you're stuck. You're stuck. Life is spiritual. Abraham was on a spiritual journey. And imagine if he did not at any point in time inquire or pay attention or be in the presence, he would get lost on the way because he was just going to Canaan. He did not know whether he was supposed to go left, whether he was supposed to go right, whether he was supposed to, you understand? So if he was not listening to receive with precision, where am I supposed to sit, stand, do this, and he kept on building altars in the different places that he went to. So imagine if he was not listening at any point in time. If he's distracted, the frequency is going to be cut off. He's going to get lost. He's going to get stuck. He's going to stay there until God comes and says, okay, move now, go there. And that is what we call this point of transition, this transformation. You having the belief, you standing firm, okay? There'll be you'll find resistance, you'll find doubt, but you'll get revelation along the way. And you have to make a decision, and you must have the courage, and you must put in the action, not just having the courage and not doing anything about it. You put in the action, and then you allow the refinement to go, because the refinement at every point in time comes. And it's painful. At each and every point, you have that painful refinement, and then you break through. And then you enter a new level. Now, when you say breakthrough, it's not just about breaking from one point to the next, no, but it's about, I'm done with this phase. Now let's go to the next. That's the breakthrough. At every point where you are done with this and you're going to this, you're breaking through. You overcome this, you're going to the next. You overcome this, you break through so many times, not just once. For me, that's how I look at it anyway. And why does this transition matter? A transition, as I have written there, is a critical movement of transformation that can stall or propel you forward. You either move forward or you stall. And you even go backward if you're not careful. But you have to move. You have to. There's a time when, as I go on in the lesson, you'll realize that there's a time when everybody else is not with you at that particular point. And now that's the point where you have to make a decision. What do I do? Because you need them on your team, the ones that God has given you. And at some point, maybe they're like, I don't understand what's going on. You understand? So you're going to experience these kind of things, but you have to have the strategy and the belief. Don't forget. Questioning is the crucible where transformation proves itself. It is the resistance that clarifies with purpose. To stall is to fail the transition. To stand firm and progress is the victory of transition. Okay? It is a true strength forged. Okay? So, let me look at your messages now. Are we still there? Let's see. Yes, Kezi, you're saying you overcame procrastination by taking one step at a time. Progress may be slow, but moving forward is always better than standing still. Good girl. You're actually talking about what I'm talking about, transitioning. And that's the reason that's why I gave you that assessment, because as a matter of progression, this is what we're going, I was ushering you into transitioning, the point of transitioning, because that's the assignment I wanted you to see, that you're transitioning from where you are. And I want to move with you. When I give you assessments, I want you to go and do the assessments. Then when you come back, you realize that we are together. So I want you to see the progress. I don't want us to just walk. I want you to, as we go, you see the progress practically with your different examples, because I'm not giving you the examples. You're the one who is giving me the examples, the ones, and I'm happy you are. So you overcame procrastination by taking one step at a time. Progress may be slow, but moving forward is always better than standing still. Good. By God's grace, I stopped waiting for the perfect moment. That's nice. And started taking the next step. Good. Yeah. Forgiving, accepting myself, letting go of everything that hurts me, loving myself, and taking myself in and take myself internally. Or intentionally. Okay, good. Taking yourself very intentionally. So now you see, that is what I mean by transitioning. Where is Brenda? Where is Juliet? Where is Sim? Casey, can you kindly check on them? Now, this is exactly what I mean when I say the point of transition. See, it's important for you to understand what the point of transition is all about. When we go back to that chapter in John 9, yeah, the Jews did not believe that this man was blind. Can you imagine? They said, "Mm-mm. There's something that's not right here." I'm trying to get my phone and to read for you properly. Because they didn't believe that he was seeing. Hmm? Let me just get my phone so I can read it for you. Fine. Okay, so here, the Jews didn't believe, they didn't believe it. Okay, I'm reading from the message version. The Jews didn't believe it, didn't believe the man was blind to begin with. To begin with. So they called the parents of the man, who is now bright eyed with sight. They asked them, "Is this your son? The one you say was born blind?" How does someone ask you that? That you say, maybe like, are you sure? Because if someone starts asking you, the one you say, they're questioning. So, how is it that he now sees? His parents said, "We know he's our son, and we know he was born blind, but we don't know how he came to see. I haven't a clue about who opened his eyes. Why don't you ask him? Hmm? He's a grown man and can speak for himself." His parents were talking like this because, in brackets, they were intimidated by the Jewish leaders, who had already decided that anyone who took a stand that this was the Messiah would be kicked out of the meeting place. That's why his parents said, "Ask him. He's a grown man." They didn't even want to take responsibility for that, but they did not deny. They did not deny, but they said, "Ask him. Ask him." What was that? What were they scared of that much? That they could just say, you ask him. Because you're saying the timetable and alarm has helped a lot. Okay. Mia, thank you for the method. It's working. So you see, there the intimidation that I'm going to show you something in today's that scripture. What it means when you are going through the transformation process and transitioning from one point to another. I want to compare what happens in reality with what we've read. The intimidation, right? And then at the same time, the blind man standing firm. Now he's seeing, he stands firm. I'm seeing, and I know who did it. He's still very firm. And then the parents who said half truth and half lies. Why? Because of intimidation. So, what happens to you when whatever you are convicted with comes with scrutiny, criticism? What is that she's doing? I think something is wrong. What happens when you are on shaky grounds? Like, am I really going to? Is it making sense? Am I the one just thinking about it? But the conviction is so hard that immediately, as soon as you say that, God even brings another evidence. Okay, let me hold on to that. That's what I'm going to hold on to. Because after he received his sight, he enters into a new phase of his journey. He transitioned into a new phase of his journey. The miracle had already happened. The evidence was already visible. The transformation was already real. He just needed now to give his experience. And instead of him being allowed to celebrate what he was experiencing, or people being happy for him, "Oh my God, you can see, my God, since you were born, you couldn't see," and everything, they were investigating. And such is human nature. They were investigating. Instead of encouraging him, and he was facing questioning. Instead of supporting him, he was encountering resistance in all corners. Go and call the parents. We need to be sure of what he's saying. Can we celebrate? You've not yet even thrown for me a party. I've been blind since I was born. But you're investigating, you're resisting, you're questioning. What is happening? So they called for his parents, they challenged the facts, intimidated them. You say, the one you say, what is that? Someone is trying to intimidate you, not so. And kind of like create doubt around your truth. You know that you can have your truth, and then someone comes and twists it up. Your truth, and you yourself, you're listening and twists it up. It's your truth, it's to your advantage, it's a good thing. Someone comes and twists it and makes it look weird. Someone walked to me and told me, "You're lazy." I said, "God has told me to tell you that you're lazy." I'm lazy? Mhm. Lazy? The word lazy does not match with me at all. At all. And then he insisted, yeah. And because probably my discernment at that particular point was not, you know, that strong. And maybe I don't know what exactly was going on in that particular point in that time. But I remember very well kind of like accepting with him, not knowing that I was actually entering into an exchange. Like someone was actually taking my diligence and giving me laziness. Because when you accept it and you don't reject it, that's exactly what happens to you. You see the power of the tongue. You came and spoke it. I accepted it instead of rejecting it. So the exchange was actually carried out very smoothly. So then I go back and then God shows me, and then I have to struggle to get it back. I don't even know where it came from or where it went to. So that's exactly what happens when people come and speak things into your life and you just, you have to guard your ears, your eyes, and to protect your transformation. Because the moment someone comes and just, someone can be testing and say, let me just throw a voice of doubt. And those are narcissistic people who do that. Let me throw a voice of doubt so that I can shake him. That, and they'll test your ground. Now, when you are, when you have not been serious about this transformation process, you'll be caught off guard. But then I always say, why did God allow it? God allows it to train you. To train, like how you go to the gym today and you train, and then it works out, and then you go and it doesn't work out, and then you go back again. So it can happen. It doesn't necessarily mean that your virtue has permanently been taken away. But it's also like a process that God takes you through and teaches you how this happens, how this happened, or how this happens, or something like that. Like it's training, and sometimes when you experience these kind of things, the reason as why I'm giving you that example is sometimes when you experience such things, you feel like, I think this thing doesn't make sense. I just keep making the same mistakes. I think I'm just not cut out for this. I'm so wrong. Like I'm so long gone. And then, you're opening doors for trauma. You're opening doors for grief. You're opening doors for sorrow. Before you know it, your tongue is just creating things, taking you back 10 years ago. You understand? So you have to be able to stand firm, like the word is saying, stand firm even when you make a mistake. Just know that you're going through relapsing and then maybe testing, and then because that's what growth is. It has to take you through tests. Then you're tested again on that point where she was weak. Let's go back again and test her a bit. And then this time round you pass, and then you approved, and then like, good girl, now that one you pass, let's go to the next. And it's for your own protection, because whatever assignment it is that you're going to be carry out, it requires protection. You understand? It requires protection. So when you're taken back into these steps to redo, and then you go ahead, it's okay. Don't take it that there's something wrong. Okay. So the blind man, instead of support, he was receiving resistance. Yeah. And the Jewish leaders calling for his parents, challenging the facts, attempting to create doubt around what was already proven like he was seeing, just revealed exactly what I've written there. Every transformation eventually reaches a point of transition, like it reaches a point, sorry, every transformation reaches a point of transition where it is tested. As long as you're going through transformation, you're maybe in this phase one, you're being transformed, you're getting to the end of phase one, the test is going to come. When you fail the test, you're going to have to first stay there a bit until you are ready for the next phase. Don't feel bad. It's not delay. It's intentional so that your muscle is thickened, it's strengthened, it's so that you because the next level will be harder than this one. So when you go into the next level, when you have not trained, you're going to suffocate. So you'd rather remain there a little bit until you are trained well to go for the next. And then you see, I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes the enemy thinks that uh, he knows that you're strong, yeah? And he knows that you're actually going to go through if you're very serious, right? But that's the reason as to why he's there. He has to be there and challenge you. He has to be there and challenge you. So that when you fail, he wins. But God is not in that game of winning, losing. No, 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 no. He's not in that game. But the enemy is always in the game of I need to win over. So you also need to have it at the back of your mind that you're stronger than the challenges that you're experiencing. By the time they are coming to you, you are stronger than them. You just need to know if they were not there, then you wouldn't have an experiential assessment of what you have received. So you need to go through that assessment through those challenges, those intimidations, all those. You need to go through that. The, Basically, they are your exams or tests at the end of every level. That's why they say footstool to the next level. He will make your enemies your. Because what they are doing is testing you at every level. Not realizing that they're actually building your muscle because the more they push, the more they resist them, the more they enable you. It's like you giving the blind man coins every single day. You are enabling him. So every single day he's going to come and sit there because there are people who are giving him. Whereas you are experiencing resistance, so you find yourself so uncomfortable with the warfare, with what you're experiencing, this and that and that. So it will propel you, it will it will push you. And then you leave that level, and whatever was disturbing you at this level may not necessarily come in that level because you left it. I just want you to change your perception every single time you come to this class. Just know I'm going to guide you on how to completely heal. It's about changing your perception, the way you see things, the way you respond, the way you understand and articulate what exactly you're receiving is what is going to help you transition to the next level or get stuck or remain. Okay? So don't forget that part. Let's go to the leadership principle. Hello, Brenda. How are you? Good to see you. How was your weekend? I left you an assignment. I asked you to get me one challenge that you have overcome because it's actually feeding into this lesson. I wanted you to do that assignment so that you can see how this lesson of transition today relates to the answers that you give in the assignment that I gave you. So you need to check that. So, but good to see you. Oh, you're welcome, Grace. Okay, so let's look at the leadership principle. Now, many people believe that the hardest part is receiving the breakthrough. And You know what? You can receive the breakthrough in just 2 seconds. The hardest part is maintaining your conviction. You can break through, and then the enemy comes. You can make me laugh. Do you think you can manage that? I'm telling you. Do you realize you just walked through a few minutes ago? The way you can go back to Egypt 10 times because of just one statement of what are you going to hold on to? Conviction. Your nothing, your conviction. Even after the breakthrough, what did God tell me? Right from the start, this is what you've been moving with. What did God tell me? What did God tell me? What did God tell me? So if you can maintain that conviction, everything else can crumble. Because that's what is going to push you. Because critics are going to question your progress. But they're helping you. Because what they are doing is that they are stretching you. Others are going to misunderstand your vision. They're actually going to say, I think she's mad. But only you received that code. And now you have to break it down into systems and structures, into a solution. So you waste a lot of time trying to explain what you're doing. We've all made these mistakes in the process. But I'm just guiding you so that you can minimize on some of these challenges. And then at so many points in time, you're going to be scared. That fear, it's coming for your confidence. Pushing you, pushing you, pushing. Then spirit just comes. And then those familiar voices that encourage you, you can just start small, play small. You need to just, and before you know it, you're playing small for forever. Until when are you going to start small? You see, that is how doubt pulls you back into former identity. Because a little doubt, a little fear, a little this pulls you back, pulls you back, pulls you back. And you need to move forward. But it's easier, someone will say it's easier said than done, and they're right. Because the healing part is what takes some time. So I also need you not to put yourself on so much pressure. Take it one step at a time. That's why for me, I think that's wrong English. That's why I think breakthroughs are at every point. You finish this phase, you break through. You finish this phase, you break through. That's why I like, let's get an activity, we carry it out, and what is the outcome? We came with the purpose, then we carried out the activity. Now we're reflecting, asking ourselves questions. Okay. Then we look at the outcome. So if at every point in life you have a purpose and you ask yourself questions midway, you do that assessment, like I do give you assessments here, and then you look at the outcome, then you leave that, then you go to the next as led. You will see mini breakthroughs, mini breakthroughs. You get my point? But you'll see them. By the time you get to another very huge door, you'll be able to say, it was not a joke. This is a result of so many. You can't give credit to that big door. You'll give credit to all the mini. So don't allow doubt to pull you backward, okay? When we say transitioning, you have to transition from one level to another. It's not comfortable. It requires courage. It requires you to hold on to your conviction, and it requires persistence because you're going to be resisted. You're going to be challenged. You're going to experience the worst at every point in time. It's weighty. Okay? So, what is intimidation? And I'm going to give you a totally different perception of what intimidation is. And you say, but madam, perception. Huh? You see, most of us view intimidation as an attack. Intimidation, for me, it is a test. A test that asks, have you truly grown? Let's check. Let me bring a very hard attack on you. Have you really changed? Or we can still have you back. Choo! Another attack comes. Do you believe what God has done in your life? Let me test that. Choo! Your belief is going to be tested, your goals are going to be tested, your values are going to be tested, your vision is going to be tested. Everything will be tested. Now the question is, will you stand on your conviction when others disagree with your vision? Will you stand on your conviction? Say, God, please help me. Help me on this one. Because you can't do it on your own. But everybody else is doubting you. Everybody else, there's something that happened that went wrong. That obstacle is not always there to stop you, it is there to reveal who you have become, the muscles you have built. You are another person. That's what that intimidation is there to reveal. So you have to embrace it. That's the intimidation part. Sorry. What did I do? So let's go to the blind man versus his parents. Why did I have to give that picture? I'm sure you're wondering why I had to use that as a picture. Yeah. When you say when you saw the blind man met the Pharisee, then asked him, "Who healed you?" He's a prophet, I think. And he tells him, "Yeah, I was blind. I can now see." Da, da, da. Then they say, "Okay, call the parents." Then they call the parents. Then they start also intimidating them. This man, he's like, "Yeah, he was born blind, but now he can see. But we don't know. We don't know. They knew, but they're like, we don't know. We don't know." They fear that that girl is down there. They fear because they were told, when you read properly that scripture, they were told, so or known in the corridors, if you side with that person, I'm going to cut you off. You're going to be cut out of the Pharisees told her, you're going to be cut out of the marketplace or something like that. You're going to be cut off. So they tell you you're going to be cut off your studies in that market. What do? They say, I don't know that man. I don't have anything to do with him. I don't know where he got his sight from, but first we gave birth to him when he was blind. The fear influenced their response. As simple as that. But when it comes to the man whose sight was restored, his conviction influenced his response. He stood firm and said, because he could have said, "No, I just woke up when I was seeing," because of the intimidation and the fear that he's going to be chased out. But he was saying, "No, I met a man called Jesus who did paste in the ground and put it on my eyes, and now I can see." Then they ask, "Are you sure?" "Yes." And then he repeats the same process. "Are you sure?" "Yes." And then, can you do that? Can you do that when you know the next thing you're entering a cell? Can you hold on to that conviction like very seriously and passionately? What was the difference between him and his parents? Confidence. What else? It's intimidation is survival mode. When you know who you are, when your identity has started getting aligned, those are some of the things that will not move you because it works in survival mode. It doesn't work with a new skin, the new creation. It just doesn't work. So you look at it for what it is. Intimidation. That's how you look at it. Whereas somebody who has not walked through the transformation process will still be intimidated. And even if they have and they have not yet grown the muscle, that's why you stay there. God keeps you there for some time. You're like, God, why me? You have not yet. That's why we go to some of these communities like this one, and then we have to, what do I need to? Okay. Because there's something that could be something that you could pick up that could help you with where you are stuck. And that's what we're talking about, transitioning. So let's look at the human blueprint connection. How does the human blueprint connect to this topic today, transitioning? I hope I'm not leaving you behind. I hope we are together on this. Um, when we talk about the transformation framework, first of all, in the encounter, Jesus saw him. No, he's not like the widow. The widow had to go and see the prophet, but this time, no, Jesus saw the blind man because he was blind. His blindness was revealed in the exposure phase. Then instructions were released through revelation, and he chose obedience, which was a responsibility he took, and his response was he went and washed. Okay, that was his response. In the refinement, transformation occurred. His sight was restored. His sight was the purpose. I asked you, what have you overcome? It may be one particular thing today, right? But you need to, as like I said, at every phase, every level, you're going to see mini breakthroughs. Okay? Then at the end of it, and you will know. Okay? At the end of the journey, you'll be able to see the measure that these were leading to. So if whatever you've said from last week's assessment, your feedback, if it's a mini breakthrough, pack it, write it down, see how it opens up for the major breakthrough. Because it's the key to the major. If you don't break through there, you won't get to the major. So don't feel like, I've been here for so long, I've been overcoming this and that, but I'm still, yes, because there's a bigger door. And it requires all these mini breakthroughs to be done away with. And his sight was the purpose. Because when his eyes were open, then he created solutions to problems, more problems solving, this and that, tools and whatever it was. And after you've known, at the end, when you finish the process and you've known the purpose, others are going to witness the evidence. You don't have to explain it. That's the thing. You can see. So that's your purpose. You don't have to explain the evidence. Okay? Then we go to transitioning. And that transformation, the whole process, was then tested because in the transitioning, I say that space is where there is contention. You will not pass, you will pass. You will not pass, you will pass. So his transformation was tested through the transition. And when you fail, you will remain there. You can't cross over until you have transformed. And that's the only way he could stand firm in his leadership, in his testimony, through leadership. Because that's when the scepter of leadership is wielded to you, because now you can stand there as a leader and lead in that particular area. So you see, I've kept on unpacking how this transformation process is actually from one level to another, from one level to another, from one level to another. Okay. Okay. The best part, I'm sure. Also, we like the reflection questions. So there's no question. 6. Who is Juliet today? What happened? Hmm? What happened to Juliet? No, I was talking to her earlier. Okay, so let's look at that. But before we even go to the questions, yeah, um, I'm going to talk about just a little bit about transitioning, yeah, because I said as long as you're going through the transformation, then you know that you're transitioning to your next level. You see, the moment resistance appears, the moment resistance appears, it does not always mean that you are moving in the wrong direction. It is evidence that you are actually moving into a new level. That's why you're getting a lot of resistance and like pushing you. And if you don't experience it, then you have to question yourself, which level am I at? But if you really experience it like at a very high level, if you have not yet gotten to this point, the reason as to why you're here and you're listening to this message is you're going to need it. Ah, Jacinta talked about that. That's what I'm going. You will need it at that particular point. So don't feel like I'm wasting your time. Okay? So that too much resistance is your evidence that you're stepping or moving into a new level. And every mountain that you like that you have been like seeing at each and every level, hey, this one, this one, it's going to become steeper, steeper, steeper. When you're nearing to the door, it becomes so steep, like. So I'm preparing you if you have not yet reached there. I don't want you to say, I'm going to give up. Just remember my words at least. Say, see, the level was going to become steep. Because if you watch that movie, The Passion of the Christ, hey, towards the end there, when it was coming, because hey, that was when the pain was too much. That was when the pain was too much. Then he pushed through. You have to go to Golgotha. I have to go there. So, and that is what they call the breaking point. Every breakthrough requires a breaking point. Every transition demands courage. If there's no breaking point, you won't be able to break that wall, you won't be able to go through it. Joshua marched around that wall 7 times. Your feet must go around. Do, 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 do. What were their feet doing? Spiritually, the feet were breaking, breaking, breaking. So whatever it is you are told to do, you have to do it, do it, and at the end of it, you're going to feel it because it's going to demand your courage. It's going to demand everything within you so that you can push through to the other end. Because the moment you break through from here to there, whatever it is that you experienced here will not come through that wall there. That's it. You just hear like you're in a room and you hear boom, boom on the wall, boom. Then you know that it's the wall. You can't go past. Hi, it's over. You can't come with me where I am. Spiritual. I have broken through. Remember these words, okay? Okay, so question 1. What area of your life is currently being tested? What area of your life is currently being tested? What area of your life is currently being tested? What is that area of your life that is currently being tested? Let me give you an example. Like, I don't know why Juliet is not here. Ah, she's here. Are you here? Ah, you're busy at work. Okay. Because it's your example that I'm going to give. You start a business or a project, or maybe a ministry, and people are questioning whether it will succeed. What will you do? That could be an area of your life that is being tested. But how do you respond? Because let me tell you something, the ones who come to challenge you are actually interested in what you're doing. So if you can actually walk away, if you can give up so that they can do exactly what you're doing, then you would have done them a favor. The race is not to the swift. It's David's son, Absalom. Wanted his throne. Son, not nephew. Son. Even before Papa dies, he wants the throne. Get off. Connives with Ahithophel and everybody. He wants the throne. So what are you? What area of your life is currently being tested? Your spiritual life? Good. So, question 2. Are you responding to challenges with fear or conviction? Are you responding to challenges with fear or conviction? For example, you know what God has called you to do, but criticism makes you hesitate. Mhm. Your patience has been tested. That's a good thing. It's a very good thing for your patience to be tested. It's a very, very good thing for your patience to be tested. Your strength has been tested. That's good. Who else? I'm waiting. What has been tested? Share. Brenda, what has been tested? I want to just move a bit here. What has been tested? What has been tested? What is it that has been tested? Your love life has been tested. Thank you very much, Evelyn. Your love life has been tested. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else wants to share? Brenda, where are you? Are you also busy like Juliet? Good luck. Oh, you're here. But I need you to participate, Brenda. Please. I need you to participate. Because I want you to have a tangible human blueprint at the end of this transformation process. I don't know when it ends, but we need to hear something. Are you responding to challenges with fear or conviction? Guys, I want to know. For example, you know what God has called you to do, but criticism makes you hesitate. Uh-huh. I'm waiting. You're responding with fear, but now you are learning to go for action. That's good. That's good. See? Uh-huh. Fear. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Can see fear has challenged some of you here. Okay, now that you understand that, what intimidation are you allowing to influence your decisions? What is that intimidation that you are allowing to influence your decisions? Like you've said, fear. What is fear of what? Could it be fear of rejection, fear of failure, you fear to be judged, maybe criticism, maybe disappointing others? What intimidation are you allowing to influence your decisions? Hmm? Failing to start. Ah. Okay. Okay. So you fear to restart again. Okay. So now you're going to make sure that you come for these classes on a daily. Because the reason as to why we opened up this atmosphere or this channel or this environment where we are is to revitalize identities, is to bring back to life that which is dormant and dead. So through our daily engagements, daily talks, you will find yourself again along the way. You'll pick yourself up again. You'll pick up the pieces and then you start forming, and then you start forming, and then you start forming, and then you start overcoming, and then you start, and then before you know it, you are actually creating your roadmap that has your very clear niche. So it's entirely up to you to put in the work. No one is going to do this for you, transformation. This one, it is a personal thing that you have to do. All you need to do is to try and get accountability partners to help you in the journey. Mhm. You respond with action. Sometimes you respond with fear and sometimes with conviction. You respond with conviction because you have ever gone through these challenges. Okay, thank you very much. Hello, Hajara. But Hajara, when I'm about to finish, I'm closing. Hmm? Okay. Mhm. I'm glad that you're aware of all this. So, have you mistaken resistance for a sign to quit? Have you, by any chance, mistaken resistance for a sign to quit? Because when you don't have resistance, then you're not challenging anybody. And I want you to mark that. When there is no impact, when there is no fruit, when there's nothing that's coming out of you, no one is going to resist you. So no one should lie to you that there's something wrong with you. Everything is right with you. It's because you are going to be fruitful, you're going to replenish, you're going to multiply, and you're on your way to taking dominion. That's why you're having that resistance. And if you don't have it and there's nothing and you're just sailing through, question the foundation of what you're doing, question exactly what you're doing. What is that you're doing? If you do not experience resistance, quit. Go back to the drawing board. Because in this process, unless there's anyone, there's no purpose that is birthed out of pain, is birthed less pain. There has to be pain. So if the pain has to be there, what is the pain? It's just resistance, pressure, and everything. And who brings the resistance? It can be beings, spirits behind people, environments, anything, situations, circumstances, like let's say finances could be the reason. Blockages, hindrances, witchcraft, blah, 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 everything. Before, I used to quit immediately, but now I'm facing it and ask, what is it? Revealing. Exactly. Kezi, that's a very good approach. And that's big ups to you. And then you also have to learn how to be honest with yourself and say, what, you see, did you hear the bang? Boom. That's the resistance I'm talking about. When you break through to another level, there are things that cannot come with you. They can only but drain your energy, try and drain you and try. You can feel it. You can feel it that there's a resistance behind the wall that you passed through. But you'll hear like boom, something is trying to enter, but cannot. Because access is denied in this level, but you have to push through to get to that level. So I'm giving you the push. I'm like the midwife who's pushing you out of wherever you are to enter. Because it's the only way you'll be able to enter where you want to go is by pushing through. And intimidation. may influence your decisions wrongly. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of criticism. Let me give you one thing. Fail. Who is going to what's going to happen? It's you who is failing. Who is going to correct it? It's you who is going to correct it. Who is going to come up with lessons and solutions from that failure? It's you who is going to come up with lessons and solutions from that failure. Who is going to build systems and structures from your failure? It's you who is going to build systems and structures from that failure. Who is going to, do you understand what I mean? Allow the rejection to come. You're the one who's going to overcome this rejection. What are the lessons that you've learned from? Because everyone has their unique journey. What are the lessons that you've learned from that rejection? How can you help so many other people because of that? What are those systems and structures that you can build around that same challenge? Judgment. You fear to be judged. Whoa. Everybody's judged. Rich, poor, everybody's judged. So fear of criticism, fear of disappointing others, those you're just embracing people pleasing and going back to traumatizing yourself. Because trauma doesn't just want to leave and walk out of the door like you've paid them off and they go. No. So you must be able to identify the intimidation that you are allowing to influence your decisions. When you identify it, then you say, now it's time for me to fight. There are times when you have to literally fight. Literally fight. Don't mistake resistance as a sign for you to quit. That is actually the time when you need to stay on the front line and say, let's go. Because God cannot give you something that is too much for you to handle. No. Unless you have crossed the line where He didn't tell you to go. Get out of your jurisdiction, you're going to have problems. So make sure you are always aligned with Him to ask Him, During those days of during those days of rejection, I was blind and I couldn't make good decisions. Exactly. And it is okay. You see, the fact that you can analyze and say, during those days of rejection, I used to underline, I was blind. Meaning now you see. You couldn't make good decisions. I see in the analysis. Now, the fact that you couldn't make good decisions, that means now you can make good decisions, right? And every time you're about to make a bad decision, you remember, I've seen this pattern before. Then you first pause, breathe, and then you go back and check, where have I missed the point? Because now you're very discerning. Now you make informed decisions. And now you know that the resources that you have been availed, they're not for playing with. It's for you to be very accountable and say, When I say, have you mistaken resistance for a sign to quit? For example, a closed door, delay, criticism. Have these things convinced you to stop? The doors are closed. There's nothing I can do. The criticism is too much. I can't take it anymore. It's too much. Everybody hates me. The whole world hates. Then it stops you from pursuing something that is actually part of your assignment. And I can assure you, the same people who are resisting you, or the same environments, or the same or whatever situations they are, they're the ones that you're going to go back and say, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. You become a solution. I know that they take it or they leave it. You're saying, you can do this, you can do this, you can. But if they're criticizing me too much, too much, and you pay attention to that too much noise, and then you go back, then you're not going back to be at the same level in the environment, the people, the circumstances, the situations where you are. Mediocre, you still want to stay there. You just sit there every day, comes here and reminds you, get up, let's go. While when you, after you finish school, then you go back. And then when you come to class, I ask you, is the assignment? You have nothing to write here. Eh, don't come to this class when you have nothing to write. We are not here to play. Don't waste your time. You won't be wasting mine because I'm doing my part. Hmm? But I want you to walk this journey and I want to see output. Okay? Question 5. What breakthrough requires you to push through instead of pulling back? Hmm. Do you need to apply for that position? Do you need to launch that project? Do you need to speak publicly? Do you need to step into a mentorship? Do you need to go to this place? Do you need to serve there? They've told to go to that place and serve. What do you need to do? Let me ask again. What breakthrough requires you to push through instead of pull back? What do you need to do to break through? God has told you, do this, do this, do this, do this. Move, do. But you see, but you see, stop the but you see, move. When a woman is giving back, the middle is like, push, push. Eh? You're crying because there's a life. It's about to come out. You're crying. Please use the energy for something else. Push. Yes, take action. In actual say, now the only way I will tell that you're taking action is when I give you assessments here, and I know that those assessments, as like for example, I gave you the whole weekend because I wanted this lesson of transition to make sense to you. So for those who carried out the assignment and came with your results today, tell me if you're not seeing the transition between the before and now. Whatever assignment I give you here, I'm giving it to you to help you transition to the next lesson well with outcome, not just coming to class with pen and paper. This is not an information desk. This is a transformation experience. And even if you're not at this level yet, no problem. It's okay. You take the notes and understand so that as you move, the Holy Spirit will remind you. "Ah, you will need everything as long as you're in the transformation. But you will need everything that your eyes have stuck on. Like you see a light and your eyes are like, why am I looking at this thing? Nothing is communicating now. The message, the interpretation of whatever it is that is attracting you to look at it for a very long time, right? Or many times. The message, the interpretation may not be received there and then. But girl, you get to the end of the day, you can't go back to that particular point, but the flash is coming and the answer has come. Because even when the enemy wants to attack you, he will come and announce. You see some weird thing, then you'll perceive. That's why you have to pray. for the ability to see and hear. Do you remember those classes? To see and hear the right things, not wrong visions, but the right visions. And that is also going to be dependent on your associations. If you associate with diviners, your visions are going to be infiltrated. I don't want to miss my words on these ones because you're going through a transformation process. And I told you right from the start, you attract both negatives and positives. If I come to this class and I start telling you, Brenda, you see, Brenda, you see, this is your number. Brenda, quit that nonsense. Get quit deception. Anything that starts telling you like your future or in the, please. No one has the right to do that. You're supposed to receive that revelation. It is only you who owns that code. It's like this remote control. It's only the manufacturer who knows exactly what he put behind here. And then he'll give the some of these instructions or the whatever's to the programmers. I'm just giving an example. Then the programmers will get to know. So what you're telling, how did you get this code? If you're telling me about, you see, when you went to the other side, like those things predicting or something like that, where are you getting the codes from? This is supposed to be my revelation. I'm the only one supposed to receive it. And it is in the glory of God to conceal things and the honor of kings to search the matter out. Now, how do you contradict that statement by saying, now you see in the future, you see, you know what? Don't contaminate the process that we are working on. Don't infiltrate it. Okay? Let us push. All these things that I'm saying are going to pull you back. Fix your eyes on the process you've been given. Every one of you, I'm sure, has a unique way that God communicates with you. You see, we don't want to know. When we come here in this class, we get to know things like, how do I apply for this? What do I need to do? Okay, I need to respond. Okay, I need resilience. Okay, I need. That's what we want to know. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, articulation, application, next strategies. But everybody's creating their own road map. And these are the end times. There's a lot of deception. If you do not have boundaries, do not be lied to, do not be deceived. Let me give you something as I close. Every level of transformation comes with a new level of testing. Whatever it is that has challenged you in the past is going to come back subtly. When the enemy knows that your assignment has to do with, let's say, trying to look for something, I don't know, whatever, like let's say people. People is general because I think everybody's assignment has a little bit of an aspect of people. But okay, let's just use like the enemy knows you need people for you to be able to fulfill your assignment. Because, like for example, I cannot teach the world. I need to teach the people. He will attack my platform and he will make me look like the worst person in the world. Who is he attacking? You. Because I already have the message. And I have to give it to you. So you see, Paul said, I've been trying to come, I've been trying, but I was resisted. Now, who is losing? The person who is supposed to receive the message. So, and then the problem is the person who is supposed to receive the message. I'm giving you something that I have experienced and I have seen, and I'm like, ah, and that he's going to use the same, but exactly, but the same weapons, for example, to attack your relationships and want you to self sabotage. And then before you know it, the person has signed out. Because healthy relationships, those are very serious people. Yeah? Leave alone these other ones. I'm talking about healthy relationships. And they're not the kind of people who are just going to sign out and, no, no, no. They're the kinds who give you a chance again and again. But the time reaches and they're like, dust your feet off. And they dust their feet off. So you want to protect that healthy relationship or divine connection that God has brought you. But guess what? The enemy starts using your whatever it is, your tool that your whatever he has given you to accomplish your assignment, to now wield it against the person that God has sent you. And before you know it, maybe you're having contention with this person, and then immediately he brings in his person. And then when he brings in this person, the person is going to come with all the divination in the world. Now, if you don't know how to discern, you'll be like the woman who used to go as follow Paul. This man, until I cast out that spirit out of you. Because there was a vacancy. Guard your finances, guard your relationships, guard your home, guard your children, guard your marriages, guard your health, guard your mental state, guard your everything. And we don't act in the flesh. No, don't waste time. Guard so that you can perceive and see and hear and say, Watcha, where are you going? So the question is not whether resistance will come. The question is whether you will allow resistance to stop you, or is this resistance just going to strengthen you? It's that breakthrough. It's just waiting on the other side of intimidation. Like now people are resting like your kids are. You're at the end and they're resting. That's how breakthrough is. Kazi, run, Kazi, Kazi. When Kazi's like this, even me, I'm tired. I'm just tired. I'm done. But the breakthrough. Imagine it's there. It's like, Kazi, get up. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I was over talking and I didn't pay attention to what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Take action and associate with people who are already ahead. Ah, that's a very good one. Associate with people who are already ahead. Uh-huh. What if, Jacinta, I had a lot of challenges, but I'm in the process of working on them, but not yet there. It is okay. It is okay, Brenda. That's what we are doing. We are guiding you as you go on. I don't want you to give up. That's why I'm here. I'm like your reminding bell. Where you are, move. Continue moving. Don't stop the rhythm. Continue. Calm, calm. Let's go. Let's go. If you had a lot of challenges, they came to you for a purpose. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. He will reveal to you one step at a time. As long as you keep, don't do like, keep, don't reach the point and do like this. Keep, even if you don't understand, even if you keep moving. Is it okay to distance or move away from anything traumatizing? Where you have to explain yourself? Of course. And every time, and when you move away, like, oh my God, that's the best thing. You have to detach. Because when you detach, then your energies are not going to that place where they were going. Then you save your energies. And when you detach, you're going to be like a movie, a spectator. You're going to watch everything play out and you'll see the truth. How all the lies were formed. You'll see the truth in plain sight. Oh, so you mean this is the story? Because when you're there, you won't be able to see it because now you're there. But when you detach and watch from afar, there's a law of detachment, okay, in the spirit realm. So the moment you detach, it's allowed. You will be able to. Now, when you allow yourself to detach and then communicate with God, He'll be able to show you what do you need to do. He's not going to exactly tell you like that's the challenge, this is the solution. No, He's going to give you an experience, yours alone. Nobody shares the same experience. So they tell you do this, do it. Then when you finish like doing like 10%, so do you know what we're working on? The other thing, what? Yours is to pick yourself up, wipe your tears, you finished crying, okay, let's go. Break down, cry again, pick yourself up, wipe your tears, let's go. Get up. And every time you stay in that in those challenges, stay in those challenges, stay in those challenges, stay in those challenges, the trauma is rebuilding, rebuilding, rebuilding. Allow God to do His work. For today, you're on and off. Oh, sorry, Grace. It's okay. We understand. We totally understand. So, hey, I didn't show you the closing, the conclusion. Okay, now I think I have said enough here. I just want to give you a call to action, and then tomorrow, come when you have done this. Like, have you ever seen those little girls or little boys in there? Mommy, I did this. Good. Then mommy gives another assignment. Then mommy is also motivated. Please, come here tomorrow when you've done the assignments. Don't come here with nothing. Hmm? Let me even put for you the page. Okay, I don't want my to obstruct me. Now it has come to an end now. That's the challenge. Let's see. Can I see the words? Um, what would you attempt if you stopped seeing resistance? You can't see the words properly here. That's the challenge. Um, let's see. But you can be writing it down. I was going to take off the call by mistake. Okay. I don't know what words those are. I want to try and get them. What would you attempt if you stopped seeing resistance as a threat and started seeing it as proof that you're growing? I think it's not the first time I'm talking about resistance, right? I talked about resistance during the some series there. You remember? Okay. So now that you have your assignment, unless you have anything to tell me, I would like to sign out. Mm-hmm. Anyone has something to say? Okay. So, as usual, I always tell you to be fruitful, replenish, and be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, take dominion in your area of leadership where you have been allotted. If you've not yet found it out, be patient until you get there. For now, you can continue rediscovering, nurturing, overcoming, rediscovering, nurturing, overcoming. You're welcome, Brenda. Tomorrow, come with answers and come on time. Come on time so that we have some significant work done, improvement, impact. Okay? You're welcome here. Okay, guys. It was nice. Thank you so much. God bless you. I hope you're okay. I hope this is having impact for you and Okay. Bye bye.